across our university city and South Cambridgeshire.
Cambridge 105 Radio.
Hello, I'm Alex Elbro and welcome to the Women's Sports Mix Show. I'm here with
Amy Gray.
And what are we?
We're the A-team.
Thank you very much. We are still trying to get that trending and one day we will.
We'll catch on. We'll get there.
So welcome to the Women's Sports Mix Show. This is our fortnightly discussion about local women's sports, spotlighting our talented sportswomen and promoting grassroots sporting opportunities for women and girls in the region. We also want to highlight issues with women's sports such as injury and people's perception through the series.
And if you are enjoying the show, maybe you're listening live, maybe as a podcast, we would love to hear from you. Amy at cambridge105.co.uk. Amy is spelled AMY. As we're a new show, we would like your feedback. Maybe there's a particular sport you would like us to talk about. Maybe you play it, you like watching it. If it deserves more attention, let us know. And if you are on Instagram, you can follow at @women's_sportsmix to keep updated on what we're up to, and you can DM us on there too.
Today we are talking about various things, and the first one we're going to be talking about is women's ice hockey. We have two members of the Cambridge Kodiaks here, and skateboarding with the opening of the new indoor skate park in Cambridge, the Warehouse. I went along to the first Girl Skate night on Friday, and I talked to the founders of Girl Skate Cambridgeshire and some of the skaters there to get their thoughts on being a skater.
And I will be talking to Liz Pamplin of Cambridge United Women about their latest matches and the latest scores from Histon Ladies and Cambridge City. You are listening to the Women's Sports Mix with Alex and Amy, and our women's ice hockey team, Alex, the Cambridge Kodiaks, had an excellent first season, second in the league for 23-24. They have won their opening game this season, and we are joined by Captain Christina Ashley and Saara Karvonen. Do you want to introduce yourselves and tell us what position you play in so we can picture you on the ice?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Christina Ashley, captain of the Kodiaks, and I play center, so forward. So
is that similar to like the centre in grass hockey, or as it is now AstroTurf hockey? Sort of.
Yes.
Yeah, because we'll get into the specifics in a minute, but I'm just trying to picture. And what about you, Saara?
So I'm Saara, and I am the assistant of Cambridge Kodiaks, and I play as a winger on the same line as Christina.
Yeah, my knees.
I think I've got it. Centre winger, yes.
Fast forwards.
Yeah. You've got 6 players on the ice. So you've got your goaltender, and then you've got 2 defensemen, and then you'll have 3 forwards. So 2 wingers on each side, and the centre in the centre.
So how many is altogether? That's
6 on one side, and then 6 on the other side.
Okay. So it's a lot smaller than I imagined it to be. But then when I think about it, you can't get that many more people on the ice, I imagine. 12.
Yeah, no, you're moving too fast.
Yeah.
There's going to be too many bodies.
And so ice hockey, you've been doing very well, but you've not been going that long for how successful you've been. So shall we go back to the beginning and how Cambridge Kodiaks came about?
Yeah, absolutely. Saara, do you want to take this? Because you were there at the actual beginning. She is an OG Kodiaks.
Yeah, so I was there from not quite the first day, but the first trials. That's when George and Kirsty decided to start a women's team. And that was last summer, and we didn't have that many players to start with. Like, we barely had enough to enter the league, and eventually we just grew bigger and bigger, and now we have more and more players.
And how did you get together? This was in Cambridge, I guess?
Yeah.
And so what was the thing that made you think we'll do a team, we'll enter into a league?
So there was a gap, basically. There's no place for women to kind of go just to play hockey within Cambridge outside of the university. So you had... So
is there an ice hockey team for the university then?
There is.
Women's?
There definitely is, but you have to be part of the university. So they saw this gap. There's some place that, could be for everyone within the community that they could come to, but then also across for the community to come and see and participate in, do different activities. And that's kind of, it sparked it. Kirsty had the idea. She brought it to George, and they ran with it, and it's really taken off. There's the Kodiaks, and then we also have a development side as well. So women that are learning to play, or that maybe aren't as comfortable playing in league hockey, or don't want to make the commitment, they're there as well. They get to come on the ice.
Is there? I might be being very naive, but is there a men's team already? Was there already a men's team?
So we're the first senior team in Cambridge, which is rare. Normally, men will lead, right?
Exactly.
There'll be a men's team, senior team.
So it's like the roller billies as well.
Yeah.
They started the roller derby in Cambridge, and it is a women's sport, so it's really nice to see.
Yeah, that's quite
isn't
women
it?
dominated. And did you have the development squad the first year, or is this something that you've had since? Because I think it's grown, hasn't it?
In the beginning we had just a mix of players. We didn't really separate development and league to start with. Until we actually entered the league, and then as we started having more and more players, we then started to actually have a proper development side, and then the league team as well. And yeah, this year I don't even know how many people we have in the team at this point, but we have a lot of people on the ice at the same time. When it's the league team and the development team, it's a lot of us.
And I saw, I guess, during the summer where you'd been asking about people that want to, get involved, try out. Was there a difference, even in that 1 year of being in the league, that people had heard about you, they wanted to join?
Yeah, I think also after our first game against Slough last year, that already made the difference, because when a new team starts, it's usually, or it can be quite slow to get people to join the team, but after our first game that we won, we already started having more people contacting us and wanting to join.
Can I just rewind a little bit in that how did you start playing? Did you already were you very much into ice skating? We've only recently got an ice rink really in Cambridge, so a permanent ice rink, but I presume is that where you train?
Yeah, we're at the Cambridge Ice Arena.
So that's obviously helped in a sense. But were you both playing? Have you always played? Because I don't know anyone else anyone I know that plays ice hockey. It's not like a very well known sport in the air. But then I'm thinking the place you come from, maybe it is very popular.
Definitely.
Christina's probably played her whole life at this point.
I'm Canadian, so kind of born with skates basically, but I've been playing since I was about 3, 4, just following my brother around the rink.
So you just skating first, and then
skating, and then there's a much different culture around ice hockey within Canada, obviously. It helps that, you have long, cold winters and places to go outside. So you join leagues a lot earlier. There's a lot more development programs in place for kids, and then specifically also women now, to really grow into the sport and kind of keep following it. So I've been decades. We will say I've been playing for decades.
Brilliant. Well, that's what we want to hear. It's wonderful, isn't it? Because
ice hockey, is that the family sport? Is it ice hockey?
100%. Yeah, definitely.
And what about yourself, Saara?
Well, I started a lot later than that. I was 16 or 17.
Too old.
You would
it
never
felt really
ever
old.
know it.
Yeah, but it felt really old at the time. But in my family, everyone also plays hockey. My dad plays hockey. My brother played hockey in a decently good level, and I just didn't start hockey until I was 16 or 17, and after that I didn't stop. But I started in Switzerland, so that's where I played until I moved to the UK, basically.
You would never know that she started when she was 16 or 17. You'd think she's been playing it her whole life. She was our top forward last year. She's pretty amazing at it.
And it's hard to start at that age though, when you're a teenager. It's so much easier when you're a kid and you're just going on the ice and
you don't care, and you don't think about the consequences of it.
17, you're thinking a bit more, and it feels like it takes a bit longer to just get used to playing hockey.
And so you've got a development squad. Is that and that's people learning? So can anyone come along and join that, or are you kind of fixed for this season?
No, anybody can come along and join. Anybody can come along and try it as well. It is a sport that once you fall in love with it, you're stuck. There's no falling out of love with it. So fair warning. But
why is that? What is it that you love about it?
I think you have your friends there, and then that's, or to me anyway, it's then a routine. Every week I will go the same day to the rink. You see your friends, and you don't really want to stop that. So once you're in hockey and you have your team, you just stick around for ages.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's quite high octane. It looks like hard work, if I'm honest.
It is. Like you're constantly moving for 60 minutes of play.
Is that how long the whole thing lasts? And is it in 2 halves or is it in quarters?
So you have 3 periods. They're 20 minutes each stop time. So if there's like a whistle, which happens quite often, then the clock stops. So you're playing that full 60 minutes. You do get breaks on the bench. Like it's not like football where, you very rarely get substitutions. You are constantly rolling.
Oh, okay. And you can have as many of those substitutions as you like, can you? Oh,
so you have about 45.
That makes it sound like it's really easy.
Yeah.
Just have a little go and then come off again. No, I see. But clearly that needs to be done so that you can keep fresh and safe.
Fresh, safe, and kind of keep pushing as hard as you do, because you go about 45 seconds, like max a minute and a half, you're on the ice, and then you come off and another player comes on, and you're doing it on the fly a lot, we call it, which is there hasn't been a whistle, so you're changing as the play's on.
And you're allowed someone just put their hand up, or not even that? Is it like a tag thing?
You're basically screaming at the person on the bench.
Good. Yeah.
Your position.
I like that.
That's fun.
Center,
Yeah.
and they know to switch. You kind of have to
and
keep
when you're
track of it.
training, so do you train? How often do you train a week? In season?
So in season we have 1 off ice session and then 1 on ice session.
I was
going to
say, I feel like you need to have a lot of strength training and other things as well as just on the ice as a team. Is that right?
And we do off ice sessions. We've kind of planned them to be before our on ice sessions so that it's easier for everybody to get there and you're not traveling multiple times, because everybody works jobs and has families.
Oh, okay.
So to commit to it can be really difficult. So what we've done is on ice, off ice right before it, but it's just another chance for us to get together. Our team we're really, really lucky. It's like a family and everybody is so much fun. Like you said, what is it about that you enjoy? It's just like, it's so much joy when you get to the rink and you see all these people from all these different backgrounds. And
that's incredible after just 1 year as well. So it's basically only a year.
Yeah.
Because you're right at the start of the season. You won again this week, didn't you?
Yeah, we won 8-0.
Again,
in Stratham,
in Stratham, which is a hard game to win.
And if you go on, it's Cambridge Kodiaks, your Instagram, isn't it?
Yep.
You will know what Christina and Saara are talking about, because there's loads of great videos on there. And we're asking some questions here, me and Alex, because we don't know much about ice hockey. But if you're sort of someone maybe like us that thinks it looks fun, but you don't know too much, you can learn a lot on your Instagram. So I'm going to say some things now that I've learned. Face off.
Yep.
No, you have to explain them to us.
I was just going to list a load of stuff. What's the difference between a face-off and a puck drop? Are they similar?
They're kind of the same thing, except for a face-off happens throughout the game. Puck drop is just sort of slang term that we use for when the game's starting, like the start of the game. So
is that at the start or start of every period?
So that's at the start of the game.
Oh, okay, just the once.
At every face-off, there is a puck drop.
Okay.
It's kind of like one of those
I
thumb
see.
and finger.
We're learning.
They go together, yeah.
And shut out, not clean sheet. Shut out, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, there we go. And also they say where the goals
So
are
hang on, what's
scored,
shut
in
out?
which it's like a clean sheet.
Oh,
But
okay.
In
Goalie
ice
let
hockey
in 0
terms.
goals.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Yeah. All
Completely
shut
shut them
out.
out.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
they did, so it's 8-0. It was a shutout.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah,
okay,
shutout.
there we go.
Amy will come along and she'll be shouting all these things, like, and everyone will think that she knows all
It'll
of
be
it.
I have
perfect.
to. I had to look them up. Yeah, and I saw that you said where the goals were scored in each game. So if you're someone that's new to ice
It's
hockey,
really
you can
good,
you can
yeah.
really pick it up, and the information's there to get people involved, isn't it? If they're new.
A lot of that is actually right next to me is Saara doing a really
And
great job with
Christina.
social media.
You do a very good job.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we are very pleased about that, because we very much want to come along and see things, but it's nice to come in and get a bit of an idea. You're not standing there thinking, or sitting there either watching thinking it's all, I don't know what's happening. So it's really,
It's a growing sport, ice hockey, isn't it? In the
Yeah.
UK, it's well, that seems like that way to me. Are you noticing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to, at least. In our league this year, we kind of have a new structure, strictly because we've had four teams?
3 or 4 new teams, yeah.
Ah,
that
interesting.
entered the league. So that's a really good start to kind of growth, but there's a lot of work that can be done to kind of keep moving it forward and kind of keep placing it in front of people.
And so, sort of alluded to it before, you have to be good at skating before you get even anywhere near ice hockey, don't you?
Not
Or do you take-
I mean, you don't need to know how to skate to actually start hockey, and I actually because of the hockey stick, is like you don't need to know how to skate because you can just hold on to the stick and like that actually helps a lot.
Yeah, so you've got a bit of balance on there. Except when you lift it up to hit, or you're not allowed to lift it. You're allowed to lift it, aren't you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like you're very much kitted up in all sorts of protective clothing.
And who came up with the name the Kodiaks?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of other names we could have been.
We did a recap of them actually at our year-end party last year. I was not a part of the group until last August, and they had decided before it, and Saara sent them across to me.
Yeah, there was a long list. Basically, everyone who was in the team when we started, I think everyone sent like some suggestions on different names, and then everyone voted on their favorite ones, but there was some like really funny ones. I mean, we could have also been called like Cambridge Cabbages. I just wish I saw that day. Like, I just need to see a logo and a jersey.
Like a growling cabbage.
I want to see. It could be great.
Yeah, I think your logo is. I'm looking at it now. You're wearing your lovely sweatshirts now,
so good.
but it's a very good pack because it's very powerful. So that's what you want, isn't it? You don't want. I don't think a cabbage would really probably have the same.
Not quite as intimidating.
No, it's not. No, I think a Kodiak that was a good choice at the end.
Definitely. And we love the merch, don't we, Alex?
Oh, we love a bit of merch. Yes, we keep planning to get some, but we haven't quite.
And the initials.
Yeah,
this is
I
what
love that.
sports people have, the initials, and Cambridge Kodiaks have them. We're not sports people, but it's a sports show, so.
We're having initials. We're having our
it.
names right across the back as well. We haven't quite worked out the rest of it yet, though, but that's fine. Now, if people want to come along to watch you, or if they want to come along and see what it's like, maybe get involved in the development squad, how do they do both of those? I'm guessing Instagram.
Instagram is absolutely, like at Cambridge Kodiaks, is absolutely a really great hub to kind of find us and to message us. There's always somebody that's monitoring it, so you're going to get a response. In terms of our game, our home opener actually, so the first home game of the season is our Halloween game. So we've got some really fun kit for that, and there's some really fun activities and like lots of family things as well. So it's kind of a nice taster session if you want to come and watch and join. Is on the 26th of October. Doors open at 6:20, and otherwise all of our games are advertised across Instagram. The whole season schedule is actually on there as well. It's pinned right to the top. There's home and away games, so if you're maybe farther afield, like Peterborough for example, we play there, so there's definitely lots of opportunities to watch.
Brilliant. And like you say, that if anyone wants to hears this and think, I'd like to give it a go, they can just message you via Instagram and they can sort all that out, can't they?
Do they need their own skates?
Usually it's good if you have, they're just so much more comfortable, but I feel like that doesn't stop anyone from coming. I feel like we have
Can you hire them at the ice rink?
Yeah,
I'm
hire
guessing.
them.
I'd have thought so, yeah.
They're always very uncomfortable. Well, I can remember those as a child going skating, and then you had that was the worst part, was getting the boots on. A bit like with skiing as well. It's like if you can suffer the boots, then the rest of it's easy.
Easy, yeah. Well, thank you so much, Christina and Saara of Cambridge Kodiaks, and as Christina said, at Cambridge Kodiaks on Instagram if you'd like to follow them and find out more.
You are listening to the Women's Sports Mix with me, Alex Elbro, and Amy Gray.
Hello.
Shortly, we will be hearing from Girl Skate Cambridge and some of the girl skaters. But before that, we're going to talk football.
We are going to talk football. We're going to Cambridge United women first. Now, on our last episode of the Women's Sports Mix, it was just ahead of their midweek game against Real Bedford away. A tough game, as Liz told us. A side they've got a bit of backing, a bit like Norwich City women, and we got a draw with them. 0-0, not the most exciting, but a good point.
We'll take a draw, I think. Looking at the men's game, I think we're doing very well for, keeping a draw, however.
And then we went into the weekend for the FA Plate competition. So this is the one, FA Plate, that's our competition. This is the one that's the offshoot from the League Cup. That was against Bristol City Academy. So interesting proposition, because this is the first year the academies have been in the Plate. So the academies, Alex, are from the top two tiers. So they're from WSL and Championship.
Oh wow, okay.
And we won. We won that
one. Very good. And what was the score there? Can you remember?
That was a 1-0. So I've spoken to Liz about that goal from Molly Cooper. And then on Sunday, so October the 6th, it was a 4-0 loss to London Bees. And I got Liz Pamplin's assessment of that game.
just an off day. London Bees are a good side. They're well organised. They've got good players. And we just had one of those days where not anything really went right. We went down quite early on, and then we never really picked ourselves back up again. And the scoreline reflected that in the end. But we can't argue with London Bees. They're a good side, and they put in a good performance. They were just better than we were yesterday.
And on our last episode, we discussed what was the upcoming midweek away game to Real Bedford, who are doing well this season. We held them to a draw. What do you think was the difference there compared to London Bees?
We performed. Every person performed over and above their levels against Bedford. We went out there. It was a squally, horrible, wet day, and everyone just stood up to be counted. They were superb to a person. We should have won the game. How we didn't was still a little bit of regret, because we've had enough chances to win the game as well, and we put in a very good performance against a very good side that day.
And we had a great win in the plate against Bristol City Academy last Sunday. And as you told us last time, the academies are new to the plate this year. What did you make of them?
Yeah, really interesting. They were a very young side, probably average age just over 16, and we thought they'd be quite technically good and fit, but maybe more of a passing side. But actually, we were surprised by them. They were quite physical and they were quite direct. And so they gave us a different problem than we thought they would. So it was a really, really tight game. And we won it with a last 93rd minute winner. So, yeah, very, very tight game. But we were delighted to come on the right side of that.
And can you tell us about Molly Cooper's goal in that game?
Yeah, it was superb. It was actually a bit of a combination with Saara Wiltshire was back for the first time since breaking her arm in pre-season. So she's managed to lob the keeper, and it's come back off the crossbar. And Molly did what Molly does and snaffled up the rebound in the box. She was first to the ball, at the most alert in the area. And that's Molly all over. She's a goal scorer. So it's brilliant to have her first goal back since returning to the club.
And was it that game that Saara was player of the match?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she came on at half-time. Alicia got injured, and Saara came on just after half-time. And we know Saara. She's played at lots of levels in the game. She's such a good player for us, such a great character to have around. And she was just desperate to be back. And so coming on, she was lively as anything. And yeah, just really made some chances for us that obviously came to pass in the 93rd minute.
Good to have her back. And when do you, or when or do you not, Darren and the team, do you look at the league table?
Well, interestingly enough, we kind of do and we kind of don't. And we were looking at it yesterday, and the league table is as crazy as I've ever seen it. There's about 3 points that separate where we're in 9th to second or third position. So it's really, really tight. We were 4th before the game yesterday, and then, and then all of a sudden a few results. But there's 3 points between about 9 teams, which is the tightest the league's ever been. It's a bit early yet. We'll go a few games in before we really see where it really falls.
So the Sudbury game isn't taking place this weekend. That's in a couple of weeks' time instead. But we have Real Bedford again in the Cup.
Yeah, the FA Cup's an interesting one because there's a bit of money comes with the FA Cup, and more in the later rounds. And so you come to the third round qualifying draw where we come in, and you're like, oh, who are we going to get? There's lots of teams in the Cup, and we just happen to draw out Real Bedford. So it's a tough tie, but we're at home this time. And after the last performance, we see every chance of coming away with something there and getting through to the next round, which will be the aim.
And then in the play, the week after, we have another academy team, do we?
Yeah, that's right, Charlton Academy. And I think the last of the academies left in the southern part of the draw, and we got Charlton Academy at home. And so, but they've come through a couple of rounds now, so they'll be pretty handy from what we can gather, and probably similar to the Academy Bristol City that we played last time. So we're quite looking forward to that. The plate's our competition. We enjoy a run in the plate, so we're kind of hoping to go a bit further here and give Charlton a really good game.
Thank you to Liz Pampling for being on the show again this week. So let's have a look at Histon ladies, Alex. They won 3-1 against Stevenage Devs. We were discussing that on the last episode, and that was at the end of September. They were on a great unbeaten run in the league, but it was their first league loss. I mean, it has to happen, doesn't it, at some point?
Of course.
That was on Sunday, October the 6th. It was a 4-1 loss against Harpenden Town, and they are having a great season so far. And the Stutes goal came from Jess Jess McRae, and player of the match was given to Poppy Smith in her first start for the club.
Ooh.
So hope to see more from Poppy. And Histon ladies remain third in the table on goal difference. Cambridge City women, they played Dussendale and Helsden, which you might not know that, but that's Norwich way.
Is that one the place that lives near where you used to live?
Yeah, it's kind of my old haunt. And it was a 3-0 loss for City, which I imagine was disappointing for them because their previous game against Bowers was a narrower 2-1 loss. And before that, they had the FA Cup qualifier win, 3-0 against, I think that was Woodbridge. So, and they did start the season with some heavier losses. So they have come back for that and onwards and upwards for Cambridge City. And we will catch up with our local football teams and those FA Cup results in the next episode of the Women's Sports Mix, and we are on fortnightly, so the next live episode or podcast is on October 21st. And up next tonight we are looking at the new indoor skate park that has just opened in Cambridge. We've spoken to skateboarders Bella and Flo, and Alex has also caught up with the team behind Girl Skate Cambridgeshire.
Yes, you are. Yeah, we do, don't we? We're having a good old dance to that. Just so that you know, we're very pleased with our own jingles.
Yeah, well, we're into it.
Yeah, exactly. I went along to the opening of the new indoor skate park on the 30th of September, and then to the first Girl Skate Cambridgeshire night on the 4th of October, which is now a monthly event. I spoke to the 3 women, Taya, Jessica, and May, who set up and run Girl Skate Cambridgeshire, about how they got into skating, and then you'll hear from 2 of the skaters, twins Bella and Flo, who I talked to on the launch day and asked them about when they started skating.
Hi, I'm Taya. I started skating probably about 6 years ago now. My partner got me into skateboarding, and when I used to go to the skate parks, I didn't see any other girls skating, which was quite depressing. So I decided, influenced very heavily by Girl Skate UK, which we've been able to have a lot of communication over the years with and run events with, decided to run and start Girl Skate Cambridge. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I think I started because of Taya, really. During the pandemic, I was just stuck at home and I wanted something to do. So I wanted to do some sports outside, and I found her page and I just reached out to her and I was like, look, I'm on my late 20s and I want to start skating, but I feel quite embarrassed to go to the skate park by myself. And she just said, come along, and that's how I started. This was maybe 2020.
Hi, I'm May. I'm 21 and I've been skating for about 4 years. I also started in 2020, I think, like the end of the lockdowns, when everything was easing up and we could go out a bit more, which was really nice. And I started with my mate Ollie. He got me into it, which was a laugh. And I already longboarded before that, which I don't normally tell people because sometimes like people laugh at it. But I did that for ages, and then I got into skateboarding and I just loved it, and then did it all from there, pretty much.
It's interesting that a lot of people seem to have started it during lockdown or after lockdown. I guess it was because it's something you could do on your own, you could do outside, and you didn't have to involve anyone else. Is that one of the reasons why people like skateboarding?
I totally agree. I think lockdown helped because it's something that you can do for free. You can just grab a board, go out. I mean, it's great to do it with people, but you can do it on your own. But I also think that we are just sort of 90s and early 2000 kids. And we probably saw lots of skateboarding when we were younger and boys doing it, and we were not really, there was no representation. And I think we sort of grew up and realised actually we can do the cool stuff that we wanted to do when we were younger. So I think that's probably influenced quite a lot of us as well.
I seem to see this a lot and talk to people that if you see it, you can be it. But if you don't have any of that representation, it doesn't seem like a good role model. But I feel like you lot are all going to be kind of good role models for some of the young kids that are here today, some of the young girls skating and roller skating here.
Yeah, I really agree. I think that representation is really important in any sport, mainly in sports like this that are mainly male-dominated. So I think when a girl goes past the skate park and sees other girls inside the skate park like actually doing cool stuff, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. That's why like girls' nights like these are so important, I think. Because not only like feeling comfortable, you also make friends, and then you have friends to skate with afterwards and go meet up with them, and you just have your own community if you start attending events like this, which I think is really good. Yeah.
And do you think that people then come along to here, then hook up with people, get friendly with people, and then feel more confident to go to other skate parks as well? Because there are more skate parks. You've been very much involved in creating some of these skate parks, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've worked quite closely with the council, and we've managed to get a brand new skate park in Haslingfield. There were a couple of rundown ramps, and we've been able to get all concrete flat ground there, which is awesome, and a new skate park in Shelford, and obviously we've got the lovely warehouse now as well, so there's been a real growth in the skate community around Cambridgeshire. Something else I just want to quickly mention as well is that we've been able to help influence the skate schools. So we ended up getting a Girl Skate member to be leading one of the skate schools. So yeah, so Sabrina Hubbard became the first girl coach in Cambridgeshire, which helped influence a lot of girls that wanted to then skate with her. And I would say that the representation for the younger years is almost like 50-50 now. So that's been wonderful. And now we've got younger instructors like Bella, who's now teaching at Choose the Screen after Sabrina has. So
if you've got role models that you can relate to, I mean, you can do anything then, can't you?
I think so, and the fact that Bella and her sister as well, they skate, and Aramea, all of those girls, when they get along, get together in the skate park, I just think it's amazing. All the other little kids just start looking at them like, I want to be like them. I'm older than them and I want to be like them. So yeah, I think it's amazing.
And May, you've been doing lots of really cool things, haven't you? I mean, I've seen you are on the front of certain magazines, skating magazines. So how did you get to do all this stuff?
Well, I've never been on the front, for the record. I was in it. I don't want to claim to be on the front of it.
We don't mind if you're anywhere in it. We're claiming it.
Well, I got an interview in Skateboarder's Companion magazine, which I was like super happy about. It was so exciting, and the magazine got delivered like the day after my birthday, and I was so happy. I don't really know how I managed to get that. I think well, I had a really good friend who was into skate photography, and he takes a lot of photos for the magazine, and because we were so close, he took a few photos of me, and then they just asked me to be in it. I guess from posting on Instagram and stuff like this, which is also good for girls' representation, like, yeah, because it puts it out there, and then you get to be in magazines and people get to see you and stuff like that, which is good.
And seeing more women in magazines doing these things is going to, like you say, it's going to show good representation, isn't it? And I'd like to know, what do you think about, like, the skateboarding going into the Olympics? I know when it initially was talked about, a lot of skateboarders weren't so happy. Now I feel like that showcasing that skateboarding isn't the thing to be frightened of, and a lot of girls are doing really well in it. It's that, I don't know how you feel about that.
I think I understand the mixed feelings. Skateboarding is meant to be a street sport in a way, and I think it's about, like, you being able to express yourself a bit, all the freedom. And I think that when you go to the Olympics, there's a lot of rules, and maybe that's why people have those divided opinions. I agree that it should be there. In my opinion, it should be there. Yes.
Yeah, I think there's definitely pros and cons to it. Like, some of the pros being that everyone sort of looked down upon skateboarding before, when it was like more of a counterculture, and it was like, oh, they're doing like naughty things, they've been dangerous in the street. So I think it's good for that. But then sports wise, like, for me, I feel like it's a different sport. Like, everyone's sort of, it's the same image. You have all these sponsors. Like, I've seen some brands that have nothing to do with skateboarding sponsoring them, and I'm like, what have you got to do with it? Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't think it's that good of a thing personally, but there's some pros to it.
No, I agree. I think you can't escape some of the big influences, especially for girls, such as like Sky Brown, etc. But it is a shame how skateboarding's used as a way to capitalise, and I think that that's a huge problem. And like May said, to add to that, there's so many adverts now on TV where you see people like holding a skateboard, or you know, and yeah, it's a tough one. I do understand why people kind of frown upon it, and I think as well we've had a bit of a stigma with girls skateboarding and people thinking that girls are just skateboarding because of the Olympics, and the two don't go hand in hand at all. Like, we've always been here, we've always wanted to be here, it's just our representation has improved.
May, you skate in Bristol as well as in Cambridge, so how does it compare here now? I mean, I know obviously today we've now got these skate night sessions, but how is it in Bristol compared to here?
I think it's really different. There's a much bigger scene in Bristol, skate scene. And I think it's mainly because the city itself is so different. It's very student city, it's very arty and all of that. So I think there's a really big scene for it, especially a girls' scene. I would say Bristol has one of the most welcoming girls' scenes I've ever been to. Like, everyone's so nice. They're all like, there's a lot of older girls as well as younger girls. And then in Cambridge, it's on the rise, definitely. And places like the Warehouse are going to do so much for this like skateboarding scene in Cambridge. I think they're both good. It's just a lot bigger in Bristol, I'd say. Yeah.
I guess Bristol's a lot bigger, and people have fought for more facilities there. And like, they're not definitely a bit like this. They've not been given them like any other sports, which is something I find hard, that because skateboarding is so inclusive, I can get about the Olympics, but you can see the skateboarders in the Olympics all working together and all cheering each other, which you don't get in other sports. So we're in a nice, warm, enclosed place with lights on and people around here. I guess that's a problem generally as the winter comes on.
Yeah, I mean, to start with, I'd say that one of the main aims for Girl Skate is to actually not have Girl Skate, which sounds a bit controversial, but it's needed at the moment. And I think people are maybe a bit protected from that, especially our male skate scene. I get messages from girls probably weekly saying about bad experiences that they've had at the skate park. Unfortunately, it is a minority of people that are causing the grief. Places like Girl Skate or girls' events are really important just to create that safe space where girls can be together, can skate together and be confident. I think Girl Skate UK has had a massive impact, and I think that really helped me out here with Cambridge, because before 5 years ago there just wasn't really a skate scene here, especially for girls. And like Bristol, you mentioning Bristol, I think that skate scene has probably been going a lot longer, so it's really inspiring to have skate scenes like that coming together for Girl Skate UK, because Girl Skate UK take a skate scene in every county, and then they've sort of put us on this big skateboarding map. And we were actually invited to a Girl Skate UK event in London as it was really fun. I won a pair of trainers. It was pretty cool.
Yes, that was so good. It was such a good event.
So even though our reach in Cambridge has been kind of Cambridgeshire, we've managed to talk and meet up with other girls around the UK. So
yeah, there was a lot of girls there that we just saw on Instagram. Like, we never had the chance to meet them in person, and just getting tips from them and getting advice from them and motivation as well. It was really good. How do you feel that the community is inclusive? I think that the skate scene, at least from my point of view, is quite inclusive. It can be, at least, but it's important to mention that we should be pointing fingers at, the flaws in the scene as well. And sometimes I'm a black woman, and I think it's important to have a presentation about race as well. And this to mention that we have a young skateboarder. I mean, she does everything, but a young skateboarder called Kitty, and she's amazing.
So Kitty, she BMXs now, that's her thing, but she was an incredible skateboarder and she still likes to do it. We supported her film a promo video and get sponsorships, and then she became part of Skateboarding GB, and she was the Girl Skate Cambridgeshire Youngers representative, and it was just so important having her on board, not only to celebrate women in skateboarding but also to represent women of colour in skateboarding. And I just remember this skate event that she came to, and there was another little girl there that was just absolutely in awe of her and sort of like, oh wow, like and she ended up picking up a board and joining in. I forgot her name though, which sucks, but shout out to her as well. She'll know who she is.
Sadly lost to BMX, but that is a great sport in its own right.
There is a real lack of representation of people of colour in magazines as well. I don't know if you've noticed, May, but we need to be representing everybody in our sport, and our skate night is girls, but it's also for non-binary and queer as well, so we're trying to also create a space for people.
Sounds wonderful. Well, I'm really excited to see how it all gets better and bigger. Maybe we won't need girls' skate nights, but while they're here, let's celebrate them. And I really want to thank all three of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi, I'm Flo. Hi, I'm Bella. Yeah, we started just around COVID 2020, went to the skate park together with our other friend, and then we've just been skating on and off since then. Yeah, it's been really nice. Like, we started with quite a few girl skaters, so we were like, it was a bit scary, but then I was like confident going in. Yeah, it was good.
So up till now, have you just generally done outdoor skating?
Yeah, a few times I've been to Bay 66 in London skating, and pretty much everywhere else just outdoor, trying different skate parks.
What would you say was your favourite one outdoor for now?
I like Trumpington. I think other places like Bristol's good. Copenhagen, they've got a really good skate park like area. Yeah.
And that's very cool that you've been to Copenhagen to skate, really. And I've heard Bristol's got a big skateboarding scene, but what's it like in Cambridge for girls in particular?
I think it's quite small, like many areas, but there are often, I see a lot of girl skaters who don't come to the skate park. They kind of wait outside, obviously intimidated, I think. But I think, yeah, we can encourage them to come and just skate more.
Yeah, I think like now before the indoor, it was very small. It was mostly like our friends and then this other few people. But now with the indoor, I think loads of young girls and then they start skating together, and I think it's going to be really good.
How do you feel about the fact that now you can have to start off with one night a month, girls skate here indoor all the time? How's that going to change things for you?
Yeah, well, I think it's fantastic because a lot of girls obviously skating going into it are intimidated because it's all just male dominated, but with a night and space where girls are just surrounded by each other, it will give them a confidence boost then, which they can go to skate parks regularly by themselves.
I think it's going to really boost the female skater scene, and especially in Cambridge, and get a lot of young skaters and other people from different areas, because there's not many good indoor skate parks around here, and this is very good. It's great, so it's going to bring a lot of people over.
Yeah, word gets out and people are going to come here from other places, aren't they, to skate, and feeling intimidated, which I can totally get. I mean, it's a great day today, but there's a lot of people, and so having an individual night just for you means you can practice techniques and also learn from each other.
Yeah, I think having a night will be good. I think also generally how I find just that being surrounded by people you feel safe will then give you permission to kind of relax in others and kind of realise that skating's about how you're feeling, not about everyone else is feeling.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I think also talking to other female skaters, you feel you're not alone, that you do feel the same, and it's okay to feel intimidated, but you do have other people to skate with, and the skating community is good. Yeah.
Also, you'll get to know new people, and then of course then you'll decide you can go and skate together. One thing I wanted to touch on is the fact that it'll be indoor when it's dark, and it'll be supervised, so that it feels like it's going to be a safer space to skate for women as well.
Yeah, I think being indoor is just nice because you come to a space and the wood and how it's all just been made is incredible. It's so smooth and easy.
So I'm guessing you don't go to many skate parks in the night when it's winter. I mean, it gets dark from like 4:30 or 5, doesn't it?
I mean, I'd say definitely like go to J Green, like out at night. Obviously, like you skate there till 6, then it gets dark, and then you leave, and obviously it's a bit like dodgy. But I think it's fine, like also you get used to it, but I think then it's good that there is a safe space for people so they don't have to get used to it and they can feel comfortable and just enjoy themselves.
Thank you both very much for that, and enjoy the skating for the rest of the day and the Girl Skate sessions at the park once a month.
Thank you, bye.
Hope you get a good skate.
You are listening to the Women's Sports Mix show with me, Alex Elbro.
And me, Amy Gray.
And if you want to go along to the Warehouse, the new indoor skate park, the Instagram is at the Warehouse Skate Park with underscores between the words. Or you can look on the Cam Skate one, which is at Cambridge_Cam Skate, or website cam-skate.co.uk. Or the other good Instagrams are Girl Skate Cambridgeshire and Rollerbillies for opening times. And that's especially for the Girl Skate nights. And the Quads and Blades is this Friday 11th of October, a night just for roller skating of all different types. And on that, we should mention about the bout race coming up.
The bout race. Yes, you're there, Alex. You get it now. The pun, yes.
Just about. Yeah, it took me a while, but no. Saturday, the 19th of October at Kelsey Kerridge, 1 till 5. And I think it's just £5 for a ticket. And under 16 something are free, aren't they? It's a very good family.
And you can do that on the door.
Yeah.
So you can.
Yeah, and we're going to be there, aren't we?
Yeah, we will.
You'll be, so that's very good. And how's your running going?
So I've only got 2 weeks left of Couch to 5K.
That's amazing.
Which is the point of it, I guess, isn't it? That it is 9 weeks, isn't it? I hope so. I'm saying I've got 2 weeks left.
I think it is, but obviously then sometimes because they say to do 3 of them a week.
I think the intention is that you carry on doing it, but I'm not thinking about that at the moment.
No,
do you know what? That hadn't even crossed my mind, Alex. How bad is that? But I have 2 weeks left of Couch to 5K. So at the moment, I'm running so week 7 is the one I've just completed. You run for 25 minutes.
That's very good.
No fartlecking.
No. In case anyone doesn't know what that is, by the way, she's just thrown it in there.
Alex has introduced me to.
Yeah, which is the run for say 30 seconds or a minute and then walk for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just assuming it's real
sprints.
and you're not pranking me.
No, honestly, that's what it's called. Or jeffing. Jeffing is probably because he's the guy that
something else. I can't remember what it's called.
But it's with the J, a Jeff with the J, jeffing, which also I thought someone was winding me up when I heard that the first time. But yes, that is a known technique, but it's good for building up your stamina and strength.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
You can only do that in the first 5 to 6 weeks of Couch to 5K, and now it's just straight running. You do a warm up walk and a warm down walk, but there's nothing in between that 25 minutes. And then next week, I'm guessing it goes up to 28-30 minutes. I'm not sure,
probably
something
but, and then they expect you to repeat that, don't they, 3 times. So I remember I think it is like 9 weeks something, but I remember not always completing 3 and then not wanting to go on to the next one, so then my weeks sort of came to about 12 or something. But again, it doesn't matter, does it?
I'm really trying hard to fit it in, because I know if I don't fit the 3 in, I'll then get confused and then think, should I start a week again? Should I do this? So, but I have so far. But it is work to plan your nights to fit that
especially
in
now it's
before it gets dark as well. Yeah,
I like running first thing in the morning. So if I've got anything else on first thing in the morning, my running goes out the window, which is terrible because I really like doing running.
I don't run first thing. No.
Yeah, see, that's me. I'd rather get up, get dressed. Well, obviously put some kit on. Otherwise that would be even more terrible. And then I don't usually bother with breakfast. I just go straight out, because then I can't delay myself in any way.
See, I have to eat as well. I mean, obviously not a huge meal straight before, but I don't think I could. I'd probably be running to thinking of fish and chips or something at the end. Maybe it would push me.
We see that could be. Yeah, you could run with
eat bacon. But
that's the old carrot thing, isn't it? Yeah. Running with a carrot. You can run with a little fish and chips hanging
maybe
out.
A croissant.
Oh yeah.
Like
see,
that.
yeah. So no, I usually don't bother for a 5K anyway. I don't bother. But I was at the 10K, which was the Town and Gown 10K, which was yesterday morning. Which was what date was that? The 6th of October. I was there reporting though, because I wasn't ready to run it this year. I felt I needed to go and help.
Yeah. Is that one that you used in the advertising for?
Yes,
if people don't know this, Alex Elbro, honestly, she turns up in any advertising for running.
If I can.
There you are.
I mean, I'm going to say I didn't put myself forward for that. But even somebody at the weekend thought it was someone that just looked like me, and they went, was that really you? And I was like, oh yes, it was. But yes, sadly they won't use me next year, will they? Because I wasn't in it this year.
No, well they might just reuse an old year.
But also on that, I work also as a volunteer for Alzheimer's Research UK, and they were doing their Christmas photo shoot, and I managed to shoehorn in my Christmas leggings for doing running in my Christmas leggings.
Well, what are they?
They're got snowflakes on them, black with snowflakes on them. Generally use them for Pilates. They were a little bit thin, but it was a sunny day. So if you suddenly see me pop up in a Christmas campaign, running along wearing my Christmas jumper. Oh no, I wasn't. I was wearing an Alzheimer's Research t-shirt and hat. Some of them were wearing Santa hats, so that's another campaign to try and get me into some way. I have to shoehorn myself.
This is your latest campaign. You're like Kate Moss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. So WSL, the Women's Super League, if you want to join our fantasy league, you can join by using this code, which is 01U 3J capital O and then 2. We'd love people to join that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, that would be good. And I have a bit of a problem with that in that the deadline's always on a Friday, and I have another Cambridge 105 radio show on a Friday.
Well, you could do it on a Thursday.
I need to do it. That's the thing. I need to get in the habit of doing it in advance.
Yes. Okay. Well, we have now got to go because I've just noticed what the time is. Thank you, everybody, for listening today. Our next show is in 2 weeks on October the 21st. Yes. And next time we've got Christine Sprout Barrell from Active Lifestyles team from Cam City. She's the lead on women's and girls project areas, and also Nicole Hawksworth, who's the under-14s girl coach for Milton
Looking
Colts.
forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be great, isn't it, seeing how different people train and work with each other. Have a lovely time, everybody. Do lots of sports, and we'll see you very soon.